everybody, and welcome back to Amanda Gilliam Presents. We are back in our podcast format, but this time we are live right here on YouTube. That's right, we're going to bring these over to YouTube now. That way, you guys get to see everything. No more ad interruptions. There may still be dog interruptions, but Madeline's kind of used to that. And speaking of Madeline, let me go ahead and introduce to you my good friend and the amazing comic book creator. Would you stop, please? The amazing Madeleine. Yay! I'm so happy you're here.
Well, I'm so happy to see you again. I mean, this is like the only time we get to chat, and
But that's because you and I are so busy in our lives.
yeah. No,
I think you've always either are writing a comic book, having a Kickstarter, or you're going to a convention.
something like that. But
She's like something like that.
something like that. But one of the joys of being in the new house here is that I can actually have, I don't know, hobbies.
Yay, hobbies! We love hobbies. Hobbies are so good. Yay!
Yes.
So what's one of these hobbies? I need to know.
It actually gardening. I like to grow stuff, and the place we bought actually has more stuff growing than I can even deal with. So it came with a large garden area with raised beds, and there's like 12 raised beds or more in there, and I'm only going to use like 4 or 5.
Okay.
And yes, I just decided to have time.
So get Madeleine's address, find out where she's living, so zombie apocalypse, I can raid the garden. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. So we've already like selected which tomatoes, and it's so easy to grow tomatoes and it's a lot of fun, but then all of a sudden you have more tomatoes than you can possibly use.
Yeah, so I'll send you my address because I love tomatoes. Dude, I will sit there and eat a tomato with just salt on it, like.
Well, what's nice is the little tomatoes, the pear-shaped. I like the yellow pear ones, which are great in salads because you just wash them and pop them. You don't have to do anything, and great flavor. My husband wanted me to grow the San Marzano variety, so because he likes to do marinara sauces and things like that, and that's the best, absolutely best tomato you can use for a paste or a sauce, hands down.
Who knew during this show you'd all get hungry? Let's go.
That's right. But I told him, I said, you want to do this, I can grow them, but we're going to have to can them or something. So either we're going to have to make them into paste or sauce or can the tomatoes or something. I mean, yes, you can buy them, and they're excellent bought, but
fresh is so much better.
Fresh is like amazing. And the place already came with like 2 different blueberry plants, and which we'll eat all of those. That's easy. A boysenberry, a small boysenberry, because I cut that back. So otherwise it's like boysenberries everywhere. And there were strawberries, but they weren't looking happy. So I pulled those up. So I may add some new ones to that.
I got blackberries. Do we get blackberries? Can I have some blackberries? I want some blackberries.
You step into the state of Oregon, and it's just blackberries are a weed.
I want some blackberries and cream and sugar. No, oh my God, mommy! I want my mommy to make. That's what I'm gonna beg for after surgery. Be like, I want some blackberries and cream and sugar. Oh, see, when I get sick or if I'm hurting, I'm like a 2-year-old. So, just my mom's like, oh God, I'm gonna hate this.
Well, when I was a child and came up here to visit my grandparents, my grandmother was an interesting person. Anyway, we would stop at the side of the highway, and she'd basically shove me out of the car and say, go pick blackberries, because they just grow everywhere. And this is when I was small, and they have serious thorns. So you're like trying with the little arms, and you always get all... And she'd say, like, what is your favorite jam? And I'm going like, no, it's my brother's favorite jam, not mine. And so, yes, grandma throwing me out of the car to pick blackberries. That is a memory I will hold forever.
That sounds so funny. The first time I got to see a wild blackberry bush was when I was living in Florida, and you had to be really careful because the pygmy rattlers were in there.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I wasn't worried about the thorns. I was worried about the snake.
No, that's reasonable. But yeah, like that tomato sauce, I could eat a tomato for hours. Yeah, but the fresh tomatoes, there's nothing like the flavor. And then you can do with the big heirloom, because I think I'm going to do the small yellow gold, the San Marzano, and then like an heirloom tomato. And those are like amazing in a caprese salad. You had fresh basil, mozzarella, balsamic vinegar, a little oil. What more could you want?
To have it here now, because now I'm like starving. Like yum yum. Madeleine's next comic will be all about food. No. And speaking of comic, you've
Yes.
got a new one out. It's on Kickstarter, and as always, you have a video that goes with it. And I think that we should go ahead and watch that video introducing your latest comic. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea because you could see me with hair and makeup done.
A little cheese wouldn't go astray, and I love caprese salad.
Yep.
You are not getting another treat. You've had 3. Let's go. Oh, wait, hold on. Did I make sure? I did this last time. I need to make sure that it... Stop it. You're being bad. There we go.
Hi, my name is Madeleine Holly-Rosing, the writer-creator of Morgana Pendragon. Welcome to our Kickstarter to print issue 2. Loosely based on the legend of King Arthur, this story focuses on Morgana, King Arthur's sister, who, having lost her magic when she fled England 20 years ago, leads a mercenary team wherever the best paycheck is. All that changes when she receives a message to return. Her brother, King Arthur, is dying. Now, she must not only face Mordred, the child she left behind, but a new threat which may forever change her and the future of her country. This Kickstarter is to print the second issue of our 4-issue miniseries with cover art by Rio Burton, interiors by Alden Kay, colors by Warnia Sahadewa, and letters by Troy Pateri. The story is 28 pages in a 32-page book. And there's more. We will have a limited variant cover by Claudia Annunziello in both standard and metal covers. And Alden has created the most amazing metal bookmarks of 2 of our characters, Connell and our new character, Daralai. They will be available in a few reward tiers as well as add-ons. The best part is the issue is complete and ready to go to the printer. So please be sure to check out our reward tiers and pledge today. Thank you in advance for your support.
Yay! Dude, I am so excited. Like, it's not even funny because so let me tell you a little bit about this amazing, talented woman, guys. When this woman writes a comic book, you get engrossed into the world. You really get to watch your characters grow. You feel like you're in that world when you're reading the comic. She fleshes out not just the characters, but the world and the environment around them. And I read the first one, loved it. I've got the magnets on my on my fridge, and now I'm so excited for this one. Let's go. Let's go. By the way, what did you say her name is?
Darrell.
She is hot as hell. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
this is a big ooh.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to depict relationships between two women who, one, are not related but come from different generations. And you don't see that a whole lot. Usually it's mother daughter, aunt niece, there's usually some familial relationship. And so yeah, this was interesting. So yeah, I've been enjoying writing this. We've been getting some great reviews. The whole team is amazing. Alden, Warnia, Troy, everybody. Dave Lenz, who's been doing a great job on pre-press and designing the comic itself. So when it ends up in your hands, it's all pretty. Actually, issue 2 is with the printer right now. I can say that it is past pre-flight and ready to go. So yeah, I'm very happy about it. And Claudia did a fantastic job. Well, both Rio who did the standard cover that you're looking at now, and then Claudio Nunziello did our variant cover. And I wanted to move outside the box from Boston Metaphysical, because it's BMS is a whole different thing. This has more adventure, and there's battles, and I get to exercise my my battle chops and action chops here, which is always a lot of fun.
And now, guys, while we are doing this, if you want to get some good deals, now is the time. I'm gonna let you guys know this right now. Get to it, and get to it real quick, because early birds are out. Because this just dropped today, but early birds do not last long. And I believe the first early bird is
probably the standard cover.
The standard cover right here. You can see it. That's my selection. I like the variant, but dude, I like her staring at my soul in the standard cover. So I went with standard cover. Early bird special is $12. You get a print copy and a digital copy of this. And with that, this includes your domestic shipping, your name on the Kickstarter. Thank you all. And trust me, you're going to want this. But if you are interested in the variant cover, I believe that one, the early bird, is 18.
Yeah, the early bird is 18 for the variant.
So if this interests you, which it should, if you are into King Arthur, history, magic, sorcery, knights, fights, this is definitely a comic for you. I highly recommend it, because I've read the first one, and they do have, if you have not had the ability to read the first one, if you go through all of these, like, you can find stuff where you can get either the digital issue or the actual issue 1 and 2. There's the early bird there with their standard covers for 18 as well, and you can get both of them. Get them. Get them. I'm telling you, you need this in your life. I'm you know me. I've always been a fan of your work. From back in the old school days where we never even got to see each other.
Yeah, we were on the phone.
We were on the phone on a website called TalkShoe, doing these types of interviews back in the day.
Yep.
It's been so long.
I know. It has been a while, but you got to start somewhere, and that was my attitude. Is I talk to everybody, and it's been great to watch like your audience grow and other people's audience grow. So it's been fun to watch people, evolve over the years.
And the same thing goes with me, getting to watch your works evolve from Boston Metaphysical Society and how many branches that went out in to now you're doing this. And again, I am just absolutely, it always warms my heart that you reach out to me every time you have a project. It really does, because it means I'm doing something right somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, is my time is so limited. I reach out to the people I actually want to talk to.
See, I am special.
And then I have fun talking with, because it's just, yeah, between moving at the end of last year and we just finished fulfilling a couple weeks ago, Mystery at Pikes Peak 3 and 4. That's done. And some of my overseas backers literally just, it arrived today, because it takes 2 to 3 weeks usually for it to, and then they're go like, okay, my stuff arrived today, there's another thing to pledge for. Which is nice. I've had some regular overseas fans for quite a while now, so it's great having them on board, and that they've been with me for so long.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna guess on this one. So I see purple around her here, and when I go to the variant cover, I can see what looks to be powers coming out of her hands. Sorceress?
Yes.
Ooh, I love a good sorceress. So where are we at now in the story without spoiling anything that's going on with this one? For anybody why they want to get this issue if they've already got the second one or the first one.
The first one.
I know my numbers.
Well, in the first one, Morgana returns to England and meets her brother again. He is dying, and he wants her there to support his choice in the successor. His name's Constantine. He's a second cousin once removed kind of thing, and he just knows that there's going to be a fight, there's going to be an issue, but if she's there, it will help. The transition will be better. I'm worried. I don't want to give away everything that happens in issue 1, but we get a hint that, and they talk about a little bit, and we see a little bit of something bad is happening in the North, on top of this issue of succession, and the fact that Morgana showing up in England again is very polarizing, because some people adore her and some people really hate her and are fearful of her. But in issue 2, we get to meet Darelai and see how she fits into all of this.
I'm so excited for that. I am so excited for that. Yes, dude, metal covers. If you can, the metal covers on these books that you do, dude,
they're beautiful.
They're gorgeous.
They're so beautiful. And then Alden does these great bookmarks that are just gorgeous. And we had fun. I was actually having lunch with Charlie Stickney, who does White Ash and the Galarian comics, amongst many others. He's currently running a Kickstarter as well right now. And he's great. Yeah, we talk all the time. The initial prototypes of the bookmarks came in while we were having lunch. And so Alden always gives me a couple of designs to choose from. And I'm looking at them, I'm going I wonder if I should go, the cheesecake or not. And I showed Charlie, I said, okay, cheesecake or the other, the beefcake over here, or him without his shirt off or not. And he's like, definitely shirt off. So we went with the shirt off with Connell.
I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that. Okay. Yeah. And it's interesting. Darelai is a pick, and which is PICT, for those of you who don't know. They lived in northern Scotland a long time ago, and eventually got subsumed into the Scottish kingdom. You've probably seen them in a million King Arthur movies of the people who run around all painted blue and naked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not really what it was. Yes, they did have tattoos and blue tattoos and things like that. They actually didn't run around naked because, it's cold in northern Scotland. It's really cold. And it turns out these folks are actually pretty snazzy dressers. And I actually talk about it. It's part of issue 2, where I just do a little summary of the history and who are the Picts and where they come from. As you know, I do that with Boston Metaphysical. I always add a little bit of the history or where something's coming from, and also with source material noted. So people want to go and look it up themselves, they're certainly welcome. But apparently it was the Romans who started this rumor that the Picts were, running around naked and painted themselves blue and, just said very disparaging things, because to them, the problem was that the Romans were getting their asses kicked by them. And so this was just a propaganda campaign to paint, and I don't mean a pun there, the Pict as barbarians.
Right. Savages.
As savages. But there was no written record of them. But what they did leave us was essentially treasure troves of beautiful silver brooches and necklaces and really cool stuff. And in fact, some of those, because I dug up some, history at some of the museums, and it showed it, and I sent it off to Alden, and Daryl is actually wearing some of the stuff that was from the museums that I found. These were highly evolved people and craftsmen. And so, that whole thing, but of course, Hollywood picked up like, oh, they're naked. We can naked and paint them blue and have them fight against.
And then we got Avatar. No.
Yeah, that actually, no.
This is one of the things that I think is really interesting, because when you do your comics are based off of some sort of history, and you've done your research, and it really shows. And I think that is so impressive, because most people would have gone with what Hollywood did, and you're like, no, let's research it and get it right. And that is that's one of the things that makes your books brilliant.
Well, thank you. For me as a writer, it grounds the story in reality. And so when we go off into magic or sorcery or things like that, the audience is along for the ride, because they've already been grounded in this real world. And they're like, okay, I can suspend my disbelief for all of this, because, I'm in for the battles and the magic anyway. But if you give me something that makes sense to me on a real visceral level, it just makes it more accepting to them. And because we all know, King Arthur, Morgana, these people, it's fiction.
Yeah, but the thing is Morgana's your main character in this, and in most places she's always the antagonist in a lot of stories.
Yeah, that was kind of the point. Is I think I probably mentioned this before at some point. I had written an earlier script about Morgana back when I was in film school. It actually had a producer attached briefly, but it was a very, very different story. And so, but I wanted to go back to that, but I didn't want to do that. And I'm a different person now. I'm older than the person who wrote that particular screenplay. And as I, look upon the comics landscapes, you don't see a lot of middle-aged women.
Okay, you get out of my head, because I was actually about to talk about that, but okay.
Yeah, there's not, you do, particularly in the indie space, you'll see some really cool stuff with older women. Absolutely. But, and then you look at the King Arthur mythos, and we have never seen Morgana in middle age. And it's like, well, okay, what happened to her after, the death of Camelot, after Camelot was gone, and where did she go? And So, I mean, that's all wide open space. I mean, you can, as a writer, you can, imagine that however you want it. And so I just took it the way I wanted to, and created a Morgana who once had magic, had lost it, and is now roaming the world with her team of mercenaries, doing what she does best, and that's basically winning wars. I mean, unfortunately, she lost the war against her brother, and in the first issue, you learn why they went to war, which was completely understandable from her point of view.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're not going to tell you this. I know, she knows, the people who read issue 1 knows, but I know there are a few of you that are watching or will be watching this that haven't gotten to issue 1 yet, and now you're going, "Oh, issue 1, I want it." And so we don't want to ruin it for you because it's really good. You really got to read it for yourself.
Yeah, there's a really good reason, but yet he's still her brother. You're kind of you're stuck, and she's given amnesty to return as long as she behaves, and doesn't start another war against him, which she has no desire to do. That's not in her bingo. That's not in her bingo card.
Of course, no offense. No, I can see Morgana. Look, it says I could come back if I behave. It didn't say how I had to behave. I'm behaving, and I promise no war. Look, so I'm behaving in this nature, but I'm not starting a war. I feel the agreement.
Yeah, but it was an interesting character, and also bringing along the mercenary team, and people forget that people traveled. They traveled a lot more than you thought they did, and so why not?
Cars.
I mean, it took longer, obviously.
They had horses and feet.
And carts and things like that. But, there was, I think in the first issue, I talked about the Silk Road, which isn't just one road, it's multiple roads. It went all through the Middle East and China. And so people did get around. So, other nationalities made it to Britain. And, if you dig deep enough, they made it up. I mean, Arabs made it up into Viking land.
Oh yeah. I mean, people, like you said, people traveled.
Yeah.
So a lot, especially those that were like Morgana's place where she was exiled from where she lived. People that were in exile, they went everywhere. And you had these bands of these little groups of people of all different nationalities roaming around because they would meet on the road. That's just the way that it kind of was back in those days.
Yeah, and merchants were looking for new opportunities and new trade routes and new things to sell to make money. And so if you ever watch Vikings, the original show Vikings, if you look at they did a really good job in some of the larger shots when you're in Connecticut, and you see the scenes of the groups of people milling about or doing whatever, that there's actually a number of different nationalities in there. Now, granted, most of them were probably slaves, because that's what happened. But yeah, they actually did a pretty good job of representation of people that were brought in or traveled in for trade or brought in as slaves from all over the world.
They represented that time very well.
Pretty well. Yeah.
Because that's something that, again, I appreciate. Not, it is a fantasy, and you can do stuff with fantasy that you couldn't do if you're doing like an actual documentary. But if you base it off of a little bit of realism, then you've got to have that little bit of realism. So if you're going to have your diverse cast, you really got to look at the history. Okay, how did this person come to this point? Okay, well, they were probably a slave here. They probably went like this or probably that. But I have to ask you this. How does Morgana reflect you in any way? Now that because you based on the fact that she's a little bit more middle-aged, something that you and I are at in this point in time. So are there any quirks or anything about her that reflects you, since you're her writer?
other than that, she has agency and she knows what she wants and she knows what she wants to do. But otherwise it's, I am not a mercenary. I may actually know how to use some of the weapons they use, but no, I don't.
Yes.
Madeline
is actually Morgana, and all of the people that worked on this comic are her group of mercenaries. That's it.
Mercenaries, yes. And I'm a huge fan of ancient warfare. I actually know probably more than most people do. Of when I was, I have a master's degree in Arabic and the cultural history of the Arabs, but one of the things I did while I was in graduate school, that was before the screenwriting, was I did a paper on how the Mongols invaded Iran using Chinese technology. And so, yes, I've looked at primary sources of Chinese siege warcraft, how the Mongols used it, their strategies, I can tell you how to take a city.
This woman amazes me every time I get to talk to her on what she knows and the things that she has studied. I could pick her brain for hours.
But yeah, but it's really interesting. I have a certain amount of respect for the Mongols and the way they handled their invasion of the rest of the world. And obviously it's horrible that they invaded. We get that. We don't want people to die. We never want to do that. But they were very tolerant. They were religiously tolerant, ethnically tolerant. And as they moved from town to town, city to city, they had already infiltrated intelligence officers in there already. So they knew exactly where their weaknesses was before anything. But they would tell the city, okay, you surrender. Everybody lives. We're going to keep a couple guys here. And then we're going to go on to the next town. All you have to do is you have to pay the head tax. Keep your religion. We don't care. Keep your business. We don't care. You pay the tax. Keep our guys fed. We're all happy. Obviously, that's a very simplistic version, but that's the short version.
I like that short version, though.
It's very accommodating. You pay the head tax. You keep on with your life.
I mean, I say this. I don't know much about them, but I do know their technique with horses and how to avoid arrows, because a lot of people just rode in so they would get hit with the arrows, fall off of their horses. Because a lot of people would rather hurt their human than the horse, because horses got expensive. Yeah. So they would lay flat or lay to the side of the horse, so they were like one with the horse, so they were a harder target to hit when they were coming in with their horses.
Yeah, that's what's called reducing your profile. So you can't get hit by it'd either be a gun or an arrow, obviously an arrow in this choice. But if the town said, no, we're going to fight, and if they lost, they would essentially be obliterated. They would keep, believe it or not, they would keep the good-looking women. They would keep the engineers, because the engineers knew how to do stuff. And then they would keep some men to essentially use as cannon fodder when they went to the next town, because they were usually the uncles, the brothers of whoever lived in the next town or city. So the next town would end up killing their relatives first before. Right. I mean, they were brutal and ruthless. Absolutely.
Is it Starbucks time?
It's Starbucks time. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, honey. No. But again, I find it so fascinating that you know all this stuff and you implement this stuff into your storylines. Okay, this is how this culture worked. So we're gonna integrate this because this is around the same time frame, and you make it look so effortlessly on how you integrate it into your stories. It's so you're so brilliant. I know I kiss your ass every time I have you on my show, but you absolutely amaze me every time you're on my show, and I can't help it. Also, I'm gonna have to. I look at this. She has me on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I saw that and went, and kind of made my day. But
yeah,
no,
in marketing terms, we call that social proof. Yeah.
I just call it, that's what I call it. But no, this is, I'm so excited for this. I
Not
saw,
that we have, just to make sure, we don't have any Mongols.
no,
in this.
no,
No.
it was just an exampling, but
Yeah.
if somebody could write a story, you could.
Yeah, actually, I could.
I doubt there's anything you probably couldn't write, but
There is romance novels.
I don't read those anyway, so that's fine.
I have the greatest respect. Romance writers have got game. Those folks know how to market, and the publishing industry would collapse without them. They are the foundation upon which the publishing, the prose book publishing industry is based on. So I have the greatest respect for romance writers. I wish I could do that. Like I saw that. What about Mongol romance? Yeah, I tried once and it just became a parody. I just couldn't. Yeah, it's not. I will have romance maybe within a story, but it's not the through line. It's not the focal point of the story.
It is definitely not going to be a Titanic type thing, guys. But I'm okay with that because no, I don't do romance novels, movies.
The one exception is The Notebook. The movie, The Notebook, with James. Well, it was the elderly couple, James Gardner and I forgot her name. I think she passed away a couple years ago. They're both great because she had like Alzheimer's, and then they do the flashback for, was it Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling?
I think so.
Yeah, that was great. I love that, and I think it's because they back and forth. But
I couldn't get into it. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna go watch some pew pew pow pow thing. I can't do this. I couldn't.
And also, there's a Korean one, which is a historical drama called Mr. Sunshine of all things, and it's a series, a limited series, and oh my god, that was great.
Now that I might watch because I really do enjoy Korean movies and stuff, so that I may go watch. But like everybody's like, oh, Titanic, I was like, I hate that movie. It
was fun, but I kept thinking about when it was sinking, the actors are walking through the water, and I'm going like, oh my god, if they did that in real life, they'd be hypothermic and dead. You know, as they're going to the hallways trying to find each other.
Yeah. Well, for me, I was like, okay, this sucks. Cool, Billy Zane got a funny line. Okay, this sucks. Oh, this is boring. Oh, cool, the ship's sinking, finally. And then I started laughing in the theater, and people got so upset at me because I couldn't help it. Because I was just like, when they started hitting off of this stuff, I was like, if I had paddles, this would be a great pinball game. And I just thought that in my head, and I started laughing, and people were like, people are dying. I was like, this movie finally has me entertained. Shut up. I was like, no offense, because I know Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, they're great actors.
Oh no, they're wonderful. I mean, it's a fun movie.
It just wasn't my type of movie. And for me, the best line in the movie is she's like, everybody's gonna die, and Billy Zane's like, not the better half. Ooh, great line.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll skip on the romance unless you do the Mongolian romance. then I'm all in for it. I will go for that.
No, I think I'll leave that for people who are better at this thing than I am. I recognize my limitations.
And you know what? I commend you for that because some people do not. So, of course, we always want to give a shout out to the amazing people that are on this team. So let's give a shout out to some of these people. Your artist.
Yeah, Alden. Alden's awesome. We love Alden. Yeah, Warnia I kicked it out of, it was interesting. Alden has usually colored his own work. And I said, no, I'm going to bring Warnia in to do it. And he was so excited when he saw what she had done. So he was very, very happy. Troy, who I love, who's been with me forever. I actually brought in an editor, David Avalone, because I just wanted to make sure I was upping my game here. And he's been absolutely great.
Dude, he did Red Sonja Noir for Dynamite?
Yeah, he's done a ton of stuff. That's one of the reasons I hired him.
Dude.
He's great. Very nice gentleman.
By the way, Troy, you're still my boy because I will always give my love to the letterers. So you're still my boy.
Absolutely. And then Rio, who I love Rio's work and I love Claudia's work. And
now, I do know Claudia's work because I may possibly have some of their work in my massive collection.
Well, I know you do if you have volume 2 of the special edition of Boston Metaphysical, because that's her cover.
Maybe. But I think I have some of her TMNT stuff and some of her Star Trek stuff that she's done for
Yeah, I liked it because I always love her stuff. She can do sexy without objectification.
That is a great way of putting it.
And she did it. It's just kind of like a hauntingly sexy without it being overtly sexual. The way she did the variant cover. So yeah, I was very happy with how that worked out.
Dude, the variant cover is like basically just what you said. Cause I mean, that is really sexy. That's almost like Siren Come Hither look.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
and also if you look close, it's amazing how she did the bottom of her feet.
Oh, with the markings on her foot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you think those are like real feet. Yeah, she does. She just does a beautiful job. And I had an idea of how I wanted this cover to be. So we talked about it, and because it kind of hints, it's a foreshadow.
Uh-oh.
What?
It's foreshadowing? Okay, when is this in? When do I get my book? No.
Well, if all things go well, I know I have a May delivery date, but if all things go well, it'll go out earlier. So,
yay!
But, that's some things I have no control over.
As always.
Yeah.
But no, again. And by the way, can I just say how much I love the fact that you gave Morgana that gray streak?
Yeah, because I actually have gray hair. I just color it.
So do I, but there's no point right now in coloring my hair in the certain circumstances that we've talked about.
Later
when I get back on my feet, possibly.
In a couple months. In a couple months when it's time to when you feel better.
Yes. By the way, can I say, I think the reason why I really like this cover, again, I love the variant cover, but I think one of the reasons why I like this kind of takes me back into my 80s, 90s route where you would have posters like this, but you would use the black light with them.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Like that. It just gives that black light vibe, which I think is absolutely amazing. So now, with everything that's going on, you said this is going to be 4 issues.
Correct.
And you told me earlier you're already working. You're done with 3 or working on 3?
I'm done with 3. 3 is ready to go to Alden when he's balancing between Mad Cave and me. So he's going to get a first issue done for them, hopefully by the end of this month. And then he'll be back on to finish 3 and 4 in March. So I have to actually go write 4 like soon.
We're gonna make her work some more. And then of course with most Kickstarters, which obviously this just dropped today, so we don't have the what could we possibly else get with
Stretch goals and stuff.
Stretch goals. But you always, I know one of the stretch goals is almost always comics, which you always pick some great comic creators. So I'm looking forward to seeing what those are. Is there any stretch goal you can give us a little snippet of or secret of if we reach certain goals?
I did bring Roberta and Granada back to do some magnets.
Yes!
Character magnets.
Yay!
Don't remember from the first, Roberta did the cover of the variant for issue 1.
Yes.
And I think they're in the add-ons. I have like 12 of those left, and that's it.
Because I have the magnets.
Yeah.
And I just got the original issue 1 cover when I got mine. But I did get the magnets. And this is something to let you guys know out there. If you're interested, but you're like, oh, but I want to see, I also want to get this and I don't have the money for this. Here's a little tip. If you haven't been on Kickstarter lately, Kickstarter allows you to do what are called add-ons. So you can make your pledge. And if you want to add something like a metal bookmark, or you want to add the variant cover, or you want to check out her other works like Boston Metaphysical Society, or her audio drama, or any of these other things, you can always go and up your pledge. You can manage your pledge.
Mm-hmm.
Got a nice little thing right up here, manage your pledge. And when you click on manage your pledge, oh, that's just that. It's not that. You can go back and you could go to the rewards and you can look through and you can add anything. My internet's being slow as all could get out.
Yeah.
So it actually allows you to go back through.
Yeah, you can also do pledge over time.
I think it's $125.
Is it that it has to be? I don't know if there's a limit for pledge over time. I haven't done that myself, but I saw in my last Kickstarter, I had a couple people who did do a pledge over time, and it seemed to work out well for them.
I believe it was. I do believe, just to make sure.
It just breaks it up, so it's not, you're not dinging your credit card all at once. So I think it breaks it up into 3 different payments.
Yeah, Kickstarter pledge over time is a feature allowing backers to split payments for pledges of $125 or more into 3 instant interest-free monthly installments, with the first charge occurring when the project successfully ends. So again, this is a great way if you want stuff, you can't afford to buy it straight off the bat or when the campaign ends, because remember, you will not be charged until the campaign ends. But I promise you, this campaign will. Madeleine has never failed to not only get her Kickstarter funded, but to get you your stuff. And if she needs information, she will reach out to you. She does not hesitate to make sure that everybody gets what they need for their Kickstarter. She's just brilliant that way. Not only is she a great content creator, but she is a great business person, and the fact that she takes care of her clientele very well.
Yeah, I had a helper back in California to help, but fortunately I was able to find another helper up here, and he did a fantastic job, along with my husband, who also did an amazing job. So like I always have them say, like, do the bulk, the ones that are simple. It's like, basic comic, magnets, bubble wrap, tape it up, go, and all of that. And they were amazing. We had our packing day, and I think we got close to, close to almost 300 packages done that day. And
that is amazing.
And because I focused on the ones that had the add-ons, because those I have to go through one by one and find the stuff that people ordered, all the add-ons, and make sure they get in the right, box and get sent off. And also things change. As I note here, certain add-ons do require maybe a modest shipping charge, because depending on what it is and its weight, I may have to change the packaging. And particularly if it's overseas, the weight may go over certain limits, which will just cost more.
Right.
So, but I use pirateship.com for those who don't do a lot of these and have never heard of it. It's a great third-party postage service, and they have a great overseas program. They've been very, very helpful, even when things go awry. They've been great. And they also offer discounted overseas, which I pass on to my overseas backers.
Right. So those of you, because I know I have quite a few people that are either from Australia or from the UK. I believe she even puts it on the Kickstarter.
You have the cost. The cost is there. When you go through, it'll show you the cost. And I have actually quite a number of Australian and UK backers. And Canadian. We ship everywhere. Right.
And I do believe when it comes to your international shipping, to actually extend the savings even further, for those that will do the larger packages, you split up the rewards into like 2 or more boxes in order to help receive the discount for them.
That's right. And this is actually a brilliant idea of my husband's, because as the years went on and our everything package kept growing and weighing heavier, once it goes over 4 pounds, it ends up, if you do over 4 pounds and you're stuck going USPS, which may be double or even triple the price, depending on where it's going. Yeah, it's pretty. So what we discovered is, and it's almost like a Rubik's cube of, I have to set out everything that they're getting, and I'm weighing everything to make sure it gets under a certain weight or as close to it as possible, and it stays either under 3 pounds or 2 pounds. And in that way, I know myself how much these packages weigh, so I can charge them. It's still going to be expensive because it's a lot of stuff, but it's exactly what it costs. So
not shipping bodies overseas.
But yeah, no, I remember the first time that happened, I'm like, oh crap, it's over 4 pounds. What I'm going to do, it's going to cost like $30 more than what I charge. And he just went like, break it up into 2 packages. And I went like, we can do that.
Oh, honey, you're so smart.
He is very smart. Yes, he is.
He's probably not even there.
No, he's in his office. I think he might even be taking a nap. I don't know. Close the door and you're like, I'm taking a nap. Like my dog is over here now.
Starbucks, how is he napping with caffeine?
Well, he's like, he actually doesn't have coffee. He'll get like an acai fresher, and that has minimal caffeine, so that's fine.
That explains it.
So my dog is happily sleeping over here, and
I saw her come in, but we were talking, so I didn't get to yell puppy like normally.
Yeah, she likes to be in my office when I'm in here.
But it's always comfy to have your baby with you, even though I had to turn mine around because she kept begging for stuff. So I took her chair and I turned it around away from me. And now she's asleep. Thank God. So with that, as always, I know I kind of already said this, but we're at the end. So as always, I will let you go. Who would you recommend this comic to?
Well, first, and I think we didn't even do this at the beginning. I think we both started talking about tomatoes and stuff.
Yeah, I think we did.
For those of you who have not heard of Morgana Pendragon, the story is about a 40-something-year-old Morgana who has been traveling the world as a mercenary with her team for the last 20 years until she receives a message to come home that her brother, King Arthur, is dying. So she arrives home to political intrigue, assassination attempts, and a son she hasn't seen in 20 years, all with no magic, that's the word, no magic, and a threat from the north.
I hope no maggots.
Maggots. It has battle scenes, family drama, political drama, because I love all that stuff. So if you do too, you'll love it. We just launched this morning. I think we're about over 70% funded.
Hold on. It's scrolling. It's scrolling.
No, we're 65% funded.
65.
So yeah, so we'll be good. We'll get there.
This will be funded by the end of the day.
with your help and everyone's help who's watching. But yeah, we do have early bird specials for the first couple of days, so grab those while they're there, because when they're gone, they're gone. They're very good deals, so you really don't want to miss that. And you can check it out on Kickstarter. I'm on Facebook under Madeleine Holly-Rosing or Queen of Mercia. I have website, queenofmercia.com, which I have to go update tonight with this Kickstarter because I haven't done that yet. You wouldn't believe how many places that have to be updated for all of this, like all social media, all the profiles, everything. So yeah, that's what I've been doing all day.
I believe it.
Getting stuff out and talking to people, but yeah, please pledge. I know you'll enjoy it, and thank you.
Yes, and guys, we all also understand that not everybody could pledge, but go to the website, check it out. If you know somebody who might like it, send them the link. If you have friends, go send the link via social media. Sharing is caring and always helps every creator. And this is an independent comic creator, so the more you can help independents, the better off we all are. We've seen this rise in independent comic creators, and that's because of people like you helping get the word out for amazing comic creators and other independent creators like Madeleine who have their works out there. You're the reason why they're able to make this stuff, is because you share, which shows that lets other people. Well, you and I cannot talk today, can we?
Yeah.
That lets other people also get to see the amazing works. And like she said, definitely grab the early birds while you can, because once they're gone, they're gone. I finally, for once, got an early bird. I'm so excited! Yay! I remember going, when does it launch? Like in about 30 minutes, because I was like sitting here all day going, refresh. Like every hour I would click the refresh button. Coming soon. When is soon? I need to know when. I wanted to see the early birds because I always miss them out. Because I always come in like at like the end of the campaign where there's only like a week left.
Yeah.
Because of our schedules. So this is the first time I actually get to do one the day it launches with you, and I'm so excited. I was so excited, like, yay! So it worked out for me because that also reminded me to get my early bird. But yes, I highly recommend it. And if you did not get issue 1, go for the $18 early bird and get both issues, because issue 1 is so good and really sets the bar into you wanting to know what happened. Because again, this writer, this creator right here, not only makes amazing characters, but builds an entire world, and you just get engulfed in it. you feel like you're there, and you will get to learn these characters so much that they will make decisions that you're like, yeah, that's definitely the decision this character will make, because you will end up knowing these characters like you know your best friends. So if you are into sorcery, if you like knights, if you're into the whole King Arthur bit, if you like Morgana, if you want to see Morgana in a light other than her being evil, psychotic woman who is always the antagonist, definitely check this out. And make sure that you follow Madeleine on all of her social medias. All of her links will be in the description of the video when you go to read the description, as well as the Kickstarter link in case you were not here live to catch any of this. And as always, Madeleine, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, Amanda. It was great to see you. I'm glad we could catch up.
Yes. And dude, I cannot wait to see this new girl. Like, she's got me bugging. I want to know so much about her. The moment I saw her, I was like, I need to know who this is, what she does. I can I have my book now?
It's coming, and fortunately Alden works quickly, but we still have to get it colored. And well, anyway, like I said, issue 2 is done. That it is
right.
It is literally at the printer right now. It's approved, ready to go. But once he starts, he's still young, so he hasn't gotten any repetitive stress injuries yet.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
But not to stress you out, Alden, but I need my book.
Yeah, but I know once he's free, he'll jump on issue 3. And then I think right now the plan is to run a Kickstarter in the fall for issues 3 and 4.
Yes.
Together.
So you hear that here? She's coming back in the fall, baby. And I'm excited.
That's my plan.
I am so excited. Of course.
Unless something blows up, but you know. We'll see.
Great. Now I got to look out for meteorites falling to Earth. Thanks, Madeleine. But no, thank you so much for coming on to the show. Thank you so much for sharing your Kickstarter. Again, guys, you've got to check this out. Morgana Pendragon. Let's go. Let's get it. And share it to all your friends, because this is definitely going to be an amazing second issue to already an amazing first issue. And as always, thank you, everybody that joined us in the comment section. We greatly appreciate you. And we will see you all on the next one. Bye.
Bye.